infection prevention ever since. It's an exciting job. I love it. I've been all over Texas, Michigan, Colorado, California. It's been an exciting career to me, and I'm thinking about retiring soon. But I've had a wonderful, wonderful career. Now, as with most disciplines, we have a certification, and every 5 years we have to take a test, which I think is a money-making thing for the corporations that are doing it, where they say it's to make sure that we're current. And every year I've taken this test the same question. So I don't know how much more current I can be if you keep asking me the same thing. But in any event, I am certified in infection prevention, and you're certified for 5 years. And it's a very exciting field. My main focus is preventing healthcare-associated infection. Or there's CMS and state, everybody else. Hospitals are in a fishbowl now. We're overlooked, and monies can be withheld secondary to you having what they call healthcare-associated condition hacks. And the hacks, there's a plethora of conditions. Some of the ones that affect me would be central organ bacterias and catheter-associated UTIs, and there's certain infections, colon infections. The state wants us to follow total joints with hips, total knees, cabbages, abdominal hysterectomies. CMS wants us to follow colon surgeries and anyway, colons and cabbages. And in any event, we follow these. And you get a report card that's published annually in January as to how you did. We compared all of the hospitals and the state. And we did things as I wrote here, okay? Every year the same, better or worse. Of course, you don't want worse. And when you get a worse, everybody goes all crazy and you have to come up with a solution as to how to fix this. The last time we had a worse in our colon infections, which got the administration's attention. So we now have a physician champion, and we're taking steps to lower our colon infection. We have a colon bundle that we are going to roll. So that's all right. Anyway, I've done so many things and had so many different experiences. And having done this, I've been here over 40 years. So, if you're in the question for everything you're wanting to know about infection prevention and you think that's your shit. I just about see it all. All right, I don't know what's currently going on in the United States, the world. And that's what my daughter was in my city. And she called me, Mom, I'm afraid to breathe, but I'm very great. But again, I said, just stay away from cooling towers because that's one of the risk factors. And water fountains. Our hospital, every once in a while, I remember several years ago, a very wealthy donor donated a fountain for a cancer center. And I go over one day and I see waters for it. And I thought, who cleans this? Who disinfects it? And they looked at me like I had 2 heads. And she says, well, it shuts down at night. I thought, this is too cold. That's what folks are in there reproducing and having a parties every night. Okay? So I thought, no, this is gotta go. This has gotta go. Well, they were afraid to offend the donor. I understand that. It's a sensitive issue to say, I'm sorry, your gift is a hazard. But finally, they listened to reason and said, hey, because water fountains, when you go in doctor's offices and you see these old fountains, you don't know how they're treated. Are they chlorinated? Are they superheated? There was a hospital in Denver that had a Legionella outbreak, and it was secondary, got into their water supply. and it's expensive to remediate Legionella. They had to install chlorine dioxide, and that had to go into their water system. And that was not good for us, you know, which a hospital has Legionella. We had a scare in my hospital several years ago. We had 3 patients who had positive urinary antigens for Legionella. And Haemophilus is the Legionella Haemophilus. Jesus, she was implicated in waterborne illnesses in healthcare and in the division itself. And we thought perhaps that we might have had healthcare associated Legionella. The state descended upon us, tested all of our water until the results were finalized. We had to put all filters and microfilters on all of our faucets. We had to get our patients bottled water. They could not take showers because the drinking is not the problem. The aerosol is created that you can inhale. And in any event, we were negative, thank goodness, with the money that was spent until we got the results back. It was amazing. And and my job, one of the many, was to monitor anybody that developed healthcare associated infection to see if they had developed the pneumonia while they were in the hospital. And if they developed pneumonia, without a urinary antigen on them to see if it was. It was a big deal when that happens in healthcare. A milder version of it is called cardiac fever. Same thing, it's just a milder version. Incubation period is 2 to 14 days. And as my daughter was saying, people are still dying. Well, that's because of the incubation period. It's not like you're getting new cases. Those people that have been exposed now are coming down with the disease. So it appears that it's going on longer, but it's actually probably those people that have been exposed. Possibly the CDC is there now, because when there's an outbreak like that, they're always on it and looking at risk factors. I think it was cooling towers. I think it was some kind of a cooling tower that was, when you, Legionella, it's water. It's always going to be a water source of some kind. So anyway, it's kind of exciting for some. How do I go to the, go to the next slide? What?
There's a microbrewery that had cooling towers. Well, it was actually growing on the cooling towers, so when the came over to a church next door.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, so yeah, and not gonna name any names, but tourists. But yeah, they had a problem with that.
Talk about a lot of holy water.
Yeah.
Yeah, things can happen to the strangest stuff.
All right, next slide. But you just have to push right here.
Just push.
Right here, push. Right there.
Okay. All right. Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. First report was in Saudi Arabia in 2012. Those are the 20 countries that were high risk. And the latest was South Korea. Secondary to a traveler who ended up in South Korea after he had been in the Middle East and being ill in South Korea. Okay? So South Korea itself, it is now a hot spot, secondary to him having gone to 4 healthcare facilities. All right, and spreading the wealth. Okay, it is not very easily transmitted. The reservoir is supposed to be camels. And I saw a commercial for a new milk, camel milk. Well, I wonder if that's a really good idea. But in any event, it didn't say how healthy it was. Anyway, I don't know if it's transmitted that way. It's more of a respiratory spread droplets, if you get it. We had an interesting case. I was called on the phone and at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they said, we have a soldier here who just got back from South Korea. And I thought, oh God, does he have MERS? We don't know. But we're putting him in isolation. Well, anyway, I got in anyway, did precautions, which is good. And I called the state that very next morning. This is not something you have to do right away. And I said, given his history, what do you think? And they said that he was in a healthcare facility on base. He was not in a healthcare facility in South Korea. So that was his path to go. Well, anyway, I think he was hospitalized for a couple of days because he did have something going on. He had some kind of respiratory illness because he was febrile, coughing and what have you. He didn't have TB, everything else. We did a flu test on it. He was worked up from stern to stern and we could find nothing. But because he didn't qualify for a risk factor, secondary after he did a healthcare facility in South Korea, he was able to be moved out. They gave him some antibiotics, and I thought I'd heard the last of him. Until 2 weeks later, I got a call from the hospital in California saying, "Did you have so and so and so there?" And I said, "Yes." We ruled out MERS. She said, "So did we, because he got sick here." And I thought, dear God. And they ruled him out again. He was on his way to California to Washington State. And I said, "Dear God, I hope I don't get another call saying he's been ruled out yet again a third time." And she called me back a day later and she says, "Well, he does have one thing that he probably did. Yes, he did." Because we give him antibiotics. And, sometimes we give antibiotics, you're such a normal flora in your gut, and those little sea nets that are hanging out, having fun with all the other bacteria. When you depress that microbial flora, it's like killing off all the weeds, the grass, and what's left are weeds with these long roots. And sea net is like a weed in the microbial world. And because of the antibiotics we gave him, the Clostridium infection. But anyway, that was just kind of exciting. We have had, I think, a couple of cases in the United States, but they were not homegrown. They were imported from other areas. Okay. Oh, plague. Isn't this wonderful? Bubonic plague, the Black Death, revisited in Colorado. So anyway, we've had, I think there are a couple of cases of what people died. But anyway, the organism was Yersinia pestis. Used to be Pasteurella pestis. They changed it to Yersinia. The reservoirs are rats, prairie dogs, squirrels, and a pit bull in the United States. The disease process, the first thing is you get a lymph node, which is called bubo. It's bubonic plague. When you're in that stage, you're not really infectious. But if you tap that new way of aspiration, you will bind the organism to contaminate it. If it is untreated and not caught, it goes into the bloodstream, secondary to that site, focal point, and they will get a septicemia. At this point, they're getting where they could transmit it to other people. In pneumonic plague, they have to be in isolation because they are spewing plague from their respiratory secretions. So you want them in isolation. And the pneumonic plague is somewhat consistent with a high mortality. Okay, if you get to that point, you can die. In fact, there were some people that have said that when you get in the pneumonic plague portion of it, that it can be absorbed through your mucous membrane. It's like you're coughing and hits your eye. All the viruses are transmitted like that. It's how cold viruses get transmitted. We don't realize how much we touch our eyes. When I go to church on Sunday, and I am Catholic, and during the flu season, I don't drink out of that cup. God gave me sense. How do I know there's somebody back there with a big old herpes cold? I'm just going to have to forgive me because I'm not drinking out of that cup. I was sitting in the church next to this man, and he was just coughing and blowing his nose last week. I became the sign of peace. And he put that Kleenex in his pocket and reached up his hand. And he shake his hand. But I did it, but I didn't ram it on the chair. I wasn't ready for him. So anyway, you have to be careful because we touch our eyes a lot. I'm very paranoid. My husband says, "Phyllis, don't tell me, just shut up." Just let me eat it because I'm not for orange juice. And I said, "Look at that, and I'm soon this. And he would say, just be quiet, let me eat it, so he knew me again. So anyway, those were kind of the three main things that I thought we'd talk a little bit about today. But there's a plethora of organisms that can get us. And Ebola, oh dear God, in November, I thought I was going to die because of that one patient in Dallas, but also Dallas, Texas, came down with Ebola. Hospitals across the United States jumped into high gear. We were having a meeting. I was leaving the hospital at 11 o'clock at night. We had a plan because everybody was hyped up about Ebola. And it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. We spent money getting places ready, having algorithms and what have you as to what to do. And we got so many crazy people that would come in. You know, I sat next to somebody who said 2 weeks ago they'd been in Africa. One person had been in Kenya, East Africa, I don't know. But anyway, they're put in isolation and you have to call the state and they were the tiebreaker to make sure that they're doing that. We've had no close calls at our hospital. But I had made a call to make it up at 3 a.m. and said, we have somebody here, but you have to call the state and get it verified, what have you. But they took Liberia off the basis of cutdown. The two now are Guinea and Sierra Leone. Reservoir bats, monkeys, primates, high-risk body fluids. One thing I could never understand in my biology part of me really was this, you know, the man, I can't remember his name now, who developed, he was in bed with this woman. And she said he was perspiring a lot. None of those people came down to Ebola, which made me wonder, had they had some kind of natural immunity, or they had subclinical cases in the past and developed some kind of immunity to it. Because the women, all the children that were on quarantine, none of them came down with Ebola. But the nurse, when they touched her skin or brushed her eye or whatever she did, came down with a mild case. You can see the people, the healthcare workers in Africa. I should have brought the picture of JFK Hospital in Monrovia. You think JFK Hospital, like a building like that, was a dirt floor. People are laying on cots. Trucks are bringing patients in the back of trucks. It is not a bustling metropolitan hospital. So you can see under those conditions how it would spread. And they don't have isolation methods like we have. They had just big tankers of chlorine that they were spraying. But it looks like it's not an airborne. You know, when it first came out, we were taking super precautions. And we still have little, what we call practice. Make sure we don, it's not the donning of these PPEs that help it. That's when you can touch, or as one person, he took it off into his hands and he just brushed his hair back. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be cognizant of what you're doing and that you have the real deal. We have a thing with we are part of the University of Colorado Hospital now. So they have elected, if we have an Ebola patient, they will be taken to the University of Colorado Hospital. We will just have to house them and take care of them that are in ED until such time as they're transferred. And I dare say we will have one. Yes, sir.
So infectious disease rooms, I would imagine you have some anti-rooms.
Oh, yes.
That you immediately go.
Or you can do restaging. The anti-room is where you stage. We have props and what have you. And then we put them under negative pressure because of that time. We're just going to take all necessary precautions.
Negative pressure is keeping it away from the
Yes, it's
healthcare
sucking
worker.
in and out.
Right.
Sucking in and out.
Right.
And out is not really a filter. It's, you know, you probably heard this. Dilution is a solution to pollution.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that would be it out.
So what the anti-rooms If they aren't, they should be, but I'm guessing the ante rooms are all, because it's 100% exhaust outside, they should be filtered with HEPA filtration, right?
They are,
Yeah,
they
okay.
have HEPA filters. They're doing their little thing.
Right.
Yes, but, we have, ante rooms just makes it easier for any kind of precautions. When you go in there, you get your stuff on, you know, and go in. It just is easier on the staff when you have any kind of precautions. We use packers for remote locations, and they're hooded, or, you go in, you look like you're in a spacesuit, because we have the double booties on, and then we have orthopedic things that come up to here, and then a zip tie-neck suit, and then the hood, which goes the inside goes down here, and then the outside goes around, and you got a face plate there that you can look out, but it's more comfortable for the staff because you're more in that area. You look like a balloon, but you're more comfortable. Yes, sir.
So Virginia, is Ebola a level 4 agent?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want it dropped in the center of your city.
Yeah. So are there level 4 suites in hospitals?
No, the best we do in a hospital. And in fact, it's not airborne, you don't touch. Level 4, yes, if you're in a biohazard category, and there's a difference between that. Because, you're handling a patient, and sometimes you don't know the nature, how long he's had it, but it may be classified as a level 4, but in hospitals, we don't have the resources to do that. We put them in a negative pressure room, and we put on PPE, covering every square inch of skin that you have.
So you sort of protocol your.
Yes.
So the healthcare work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the healthcare work.
Right.
Absolutely.
But then, in that room, before you get to that room, you've got an anteroom where you're pressurized, and then that door locks, the door to the hallway locks.
It doesn't lock, we just close it.
You just close it, but what about the next door?
We just have an anteroom and then you go right in.
Okay.
And that was CDC, we talked to CDC, because they take care of these people, Atlanta, Emory. And we talked to their infection prevention people a lot. I did it before we actually had an Ebola patient. Because in August, I was thinking, we might get one of these people, should we be prepared? And at that time, CDC was saying, you just need a little gallon in the glove. Okay? And I talked to the people at Emory, and they said, we do this, this, and this, and I told our medical director, we're out there with a hanky, and they got a lot of stuff they're putting on. Do you want the hanky or do you want the appropriate? Like, nobody really listened to me very much. We'll just do what CDC said. Well, CDC has a lot of flack secondary to their lack of communication in terms of how this was transmitted. They revisited that, and it was a little embarrassing for them. But it also was the Phyllis the anthrax, a little embarrassment also. But now they came out with revised precautions, which now I thought, this doesn't sound right. You can tell me it's okay. No, yes.
So once the healthcare worker has entered the patient's room, they're contaminated. So when they go back, how do they transition?
It's a whole protocol. You have to go in stages. And, they could be in there up to 4 hours if that patient is really sick. So we had it all worked out where we put signs on, I do this, and there'd be a passer outside, and he was always ready to go in. He had almost that guard up. He would just have to do a little bit to get ready. And they have to have potty breaks, so it was a big deal. And the people at Emory said that those patients had diarrhea like you would not imagine. They just wept stool constantly. And that was the problem. If we hydrate these people, secondary to it, because you probably heard that some of the effects of the disease are lingering. There are some deficits, some neurological deficits. One of the things that They have other vaccines. I know they're trialing some right now. And I think one they're actually utilizing, but ZMapp, did you see 60 Minutes a few months ago? It's grown on a tobacco leaf. They take a tobacco leaf and they infect it with the Ebola virus. Well, the Ebola kills the leaf, but in the meantime, it produces antibodies on the tobacco leaf. And they crush up the leaf after it's died, and they purify it, sterilize it, what have you, and that's ZMapp. And it was very promising. In fact, one of the doctors was saved by this ZMapp. But look at all the tobacco you have to grow to get a little vial. It's like a half acre to get a vial of this stuff. So, but they're working on other vaccines now. You know, it's kind of funny. Nothing ever goes away. It just comes back. You know, Ebola is not new. It just never, the outbreak never reached these proportions. There have been areas in Africa that have had Ebola. But in this 2012, that was a big deal there. Okay? But anyway, with microbiology, one thing that I find exciting about the world that I work in and live in is that my homes have really changed. I had a noted microbiology professor years ago when I was just starting that said, in the end, it won't be a bomb, it'll be a bug. And I really do believe that. Because organisms reproduce every 20 minutes, that's a great deal of sex, they don't use condoms, and they transfer genetic material from one to the other, which are very bad things. And there are arsenals that can do us in. One of the most frightening things I think is that not very much money goes into antibiotics. I don't know if you realize that or not. Pharmaceutical companies want to make money on things you have to take every day to die, like high blood pressure medicine, diabetes things. They don't put much money into antibiotics, but the bacteria are changing, mutating, and that's a frightening thought when you think about it. Because once you take the antibiotic, you're cured. You don't need it anymore. So that's actually a frightening thing, if you think. Our ammunition is not keeping up with our microbial army. Okay. Do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
So how did you think, where does the nurse take off the?
Outside the room.
Okay, so we have an anteroom and like
Yeah.
you're standing in.
Yeah, we have an outside area with a stool with, we found an agent that would kill it in 3 minutes. And you spray it on yourself and layer. You layer off. You take off one layer, wipe down with a disinfectant. And about 4 pairs of gloves you have on. So you're peeling and peeling and peeling. And then you go in and you take a shower. And then you're ready to start reaction. Yes.
So Virginia, it sounds like Emory kind of came out as the poster child for how to handle Ebola cases.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a whole protocol.
Oh, they had a research.
They had everything set
They
up.
had everything there, yes.
So are other hospitals kind of taking notes, saying it's not a matter of when, or if, but when?
That's why we're preparing. That's why every 6 months we do a trial on it.
Are they taking it to the point of looking at building suites that would be similar to what Emory has?
I don't think we need a suite right now because of the configuration of our hospital. University, look, this factor in the United States is so low for an influx of patients. I mean, they have screening protocols. If you're getting on an airplane from Sierra Leone or getting, you're going through a screening protocol. And they know of people in Colorado Springs, the health department's watching. And then you have to kind of check in with them. So even though you don't hear about it, there are things going on behind the scenes to keep a finger on the pulse of this.
So during the height of the outbreak, we do designs for Bob became a facility. We got lots of phone calls.
Oh, I bet you did.
Lots of hospitals saying, can you help us with a temporary suite, or can you help us with the protocol? And what turned out to happen was the hospitals started looking at these things and the cost of doing it. And is this going to be a once only kind of thing, or will it continue? And then the other thing that kind of turned out to be very interesting to me was patients, when they found out that a certain hospital was going to have a suite that was going to be able to handle Ebola, they didn't want to go there.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Because there was a chance they might get it.
Yeah, that poor hospital in Dallas, they had no patients for a long time. And you know, in hospitals where there isn't, you take that patient, public opinion going around there, that an Ebola patient in there. You know, it's, I was in Dallas for a convention during the height of this thing. And I remember, I thought, this is insanity. I was on the bus back to the hotel for the airport, and there was this African gentleman, and he was ready to be picked up. And they said, "Where are you going?" And he had an African accent, and then closed the door. He would not let him on that bus. Oh, dear God, people are crazy. Or I walked through by the hospital. I'm not speaking, I mean, insanity, you know. Remember when AIDS, maybe you guys are old enough to know, but there was so many misconceptions about it. And it was insane. We had physicians in Texas burning mattresses and soaking instruments in Clorox until they were pitted. I mean, they say the fear of AIDS is worse than the disease itself. Now, we'll probably look back later on and say, look how silly we were. But at the time, it's the perception, isn't it?
So my question's gonna tie into all of that. Not only do we test and certify by safety cabinets and containment rooms, but we decontaminate. So we were getting a lot of calls nationally from hospitals. They want to know, can we decontaminate? Or if they want to have a plan for the future.
Sure.
You know, they can make sure that we're set up. And biological decontamination
Yes.
is what we do.
Yes.
So what do you do? What's your plan?
Oh, we got the right disinfectants, we got the right people on board, we got a plan, I'm quite comfortable.
Yeah, so, and I'm curious about that because I'm also active in the Industrial Hygienists Association. And in our fall conference, we'll have an Ebola speaker, but it's about, and it's for the hospitals.
Sure.
And how they can come up with a, so no, we don't do Ebola.
Yeah.
That is a company decision, and we'll see if we ever readdress that. But
Yes.
we had to really look to see.
Well, we got help.
So what do you, hydrogen peroxide, chlorine
Yeah, we use
dioxide?
we use hydrogen peroxide.
Okay.
Oxygen is the kill time. I like that very much. And it even got to the point where, you know, we all got together and worked with this. What did they do? What did we do with the body? Because we call several funeral homes and why forget it, you know? So we worked with public health in Pennsylvania County Health Department. And basically we had a plan for the cadaver. We said, you know, double bag them. And then we come in and they call it a bullet. And they put them in a bullet.
Yeah.
And then they just incinerate the victims on it. Okay? So because no funeral home would take that money. So we had a plan in the event he would expire. You have to think through every scenario that occurs.
What about the ambulance that brought him in?
Oh, God, yeah.
The plane that flew in.
Well, UV lights, you can use the UV lights, you know, at Emory. And they have some disinfectants now. They were all hydrogen peroxide is just really fabulous. There's a hydrogen peroxide now that it's mixed with a little alcohol and a little acetic acid. And it kills tedious spores. You don't have that chlorine smell, and it kills in 5 minutes. So we're doing 510K approval for a 3-minute spray. So hydrogen peroxide to me is fabulous in terms of kill time. And it dissipates in water too, which is actually essential. Any answer?
Well, one last question from me. So you were talking about the very extreme diarrhea. So obviously, if they're that the conditioning may or may not be able to make it to the toilet, but if they did make it to the toilet, what happens to the waste after it goes waste? Like a whole big thing is that
Solution. We already talked about that because there were some people that put it in buckets. And I don't want it. It reminds me of the story when I worked in Tennessee, we had a citywide outbreak with typhoid fever. And it was secondary to a Mexican restaurant. I don't forget the name of it, La Frontera Molina. It's not talk about this thing. No, just kidding. In any event, people, it was a barbacoa. That was a vehicle through which he was carrying these people. All gave a history of them eating and this kind of stuff. So anyway, we had a couple of kids in the ICU, and the nurse called me, and she says, Phyllis, these two kids with typhoid fever, and I just went out in the stool. I said, what do you mean in the stool? She said, well, it was not blood. I said, why? She's got typhoid fever. She was stored in buckets in the ICU. And all I could think of is there's a lot of gas-producing organisms in stool. And I could just see them blowing the lid off of that bucket. Can you know projectile stool in the ICU? I told her, please flush. Please put out personal protective equipment, rinse it out, and flush it, and throw those things away. Anyway, that's when you get off the phone and you think, I think I've heard everything, but it never fails. People have the assumption that the sanitary waste stream cannot handle it. One patient with 20 million people. You see what I'm saying? No, we've gone through that also. Okay. Do you have any other questions about any other diseases? Because I'm running over time. If you never have any questions, I've done this 40 years, I've seen just about everything you can see. Give me a call. My pleasure to speak to you today.